guys, Toby here from PROEDGE Trading. All right, we're going to look at a new trade today, and we'll call this one the two-step. And you notice I stripped everything off the EdgeRunner except for the candles and the edge bands. Now I've changed the colors on the downtrend to yellow and to orange on the uptrend just so we can see them better, and you'll see why here in a minute. And this trade is really high probability. It's you'll see what I mean. It doesn't happen every day, but it's a good backup trade. It's just a good trade. We're only going to look at one instrument, but you can run this on any of the indices, and you may get, if it doesn't hit on one, maybe it'll hit on another one. More than likely it will, but here we go. Let's get into how it works. So I have our 8:30. 8:30 is our open, New York open, Central Time. So you see we come in here, open, we're in a downtrend, yellow on the bottom. And what you're going to do is, once it flips, we got orange on top right here, then you know to declare this low of this swing as our first low, step one. That's why it's called a two-step. And then after a little while, you're going to realize that this is our high. This is where we open. After all this has happened, you're like, all right, this is our high. So as we come along, what we're looking for is a break of this first step low, which we get right here. And we don't know what the lowest low is going to be until we have a flip the other way. So this is what you have so far on the downside. So you come in, you come down, you've come up, you've flipped, you got orange on top. You can now declare this step one low. And then you wait for it to be broke. And then you wait till right here where you get a orange on top, the trend change right there. Now this is your entry. You're going to put here, I'll just put it on here. You can put a sell stop.
Order submitted.
Right. One tick under that low. And that's your entry, and you just wait. In the meantime, keep an eye on the high, but we're nowhere near that. So right here was your entry. You realize that here. But once that happens, put a sell stop right there. And there you go. Entered. We're on the 1 minute, so we're only going for 5 points. Obviously, you could have got a whole lot more, but 5-point stop, 15, 20 point, or 5-point target, 15, 20 point stop. And there you go. So that's
order canceled.
That's the two-step. It's one step, two-step entry. We'll do another one. And this stop at 2. Don't trade after 2, by the way. It gets too crazy, too unpredictable. And this is a one and done, by the way. Don't try to trade this over and over. So one and done, you'll find it got a high win rate. So here's another day. Comes in. Once you see this flip right here, this is our low. And on this day, we're coming in. We've established our step one low. We haven't established this high until it's flipped back the other way. So now this is our step one high. So low, high. You don't know this until this flipped. You don't know this until you see yellow here. So we're just waiting for one of those two to be broke, which we got right here, but we're still going up, up. Once we got yellow here, then this becomes our buy. This will be our buy
Order
limit.
submitted.
It'd actually be right there. But you know, it was at this time. As soon as you got yellow here, you put a buy right there. And then let's see what happens. You're in 540, 546. So there's your 5 points. Your stop is 15, 20 points behind. So somewhere around 540, 520, 525, you know, 15, 20 points behind. And there's your 5 points.
Order canceled.
You can just do this. You can do this every day, but you don't get a trade every day. This is really a real conservative trade, but high probability. We'll go through another one. Market opens. Once you see this right here happen, you know this is our high. This came up, it's flipped. This made our step one high. Come down, down, down. And this is where we got to dig in. Let's see if this ever flips. Because in real time, yeah, see, in real time, you're going to see this orange flip. So that's going to be, you know, you're right here. That's going to be a flip. So that would make this candle our first low. So in, you know, we're open. After you start seeing yellow here, like, okay, this is our high. And then this is all down, down, down. There's no flip there. But in real time, you're going to see a flip right there. So now this is our low. And then it didn't follow through, but it flipped. So that made this our low. Then it does break that one, breaks, breaks, keeps going, keeps going. This is old. So it keeps going. Then once you get this flip right here, this becomes your entry. So that's our entry. Let's see if we got, we didn't get a trade that day. Some days you won't. Like I said, this is really a real conservative type trade, but you can be doing this on the other indices too. So here's another day. We come in, we had right at the open and some yellow down here, and then it flipped. So this would be our low. And then we had yellow, and then it's going up, up, up. Here's a flip right here. So this would be our high. We're waiting for a breach of one of those two, which we got here. You don't know this is our two-step until we have orange here. So once you get this, this becomes your entry short. And on the high side, we never have beat that. Let's see if this wins. No, no trade. Sorry. 2 o'clock. But you see how it works. Let's do one more. So we come in. Here's the open. We're yellow on the bottom. Not sure. Let's dive in here and see in real time, would you see a flip? Not really. That's not really a flip. So we come in, we didn't get a flip. So this is technically our low right here. You never really got flipped there. So it comes in downtrend, down. Once you get here and see a distinct orange flip, then that declares this our step one low. Now, as we go up, 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 we're looking for some yellow. There's some yellow, so that makes this our first step high. Because we've only had an uptrend. We haven't had any yellow in here on the bottom. It needs to be on the bottom, still right here. So we're going along looking for a breach of one of these two, which happens here. But we're waiting on a flip, which we get. So now this makes this high, it becomes our two-step high, our entry. And we get entered right there, and there's your 5 point. Well, there's your a lot more than 5 points, but 50 points. But we're only going for 5 points. Bam, your stop is 15, 20 behind that, which is plenty. There's your trade for that day. All right, here's one. Looks a little messy. Let's check it out. All right, so we come in. We're in an uptrend right at the bell. And then we get a flip here, so that makes this, right when you get here, it makes this our first high right here. And then as this came down, this came up and flipped. So this would make our first low. So you see that? Come in. You get a flip. It makes our first low. Came in, flipped the other way. That makes that our first high. That was the high of this loop right here. This is the low of this loop right here. So as we come along, we actually beat it here. But we don't know that yet until right here. So this is step one. This is step two. This is our entry. Be right there. And then coming down, we beat it. We don't know that till right here. So if you're going to enter short, it'd be right there. So you got the high and low two-step on. You're good for either one of these. Whichever one hits first. See if that one actually hit. Looks like we're a tick away, so we didn't get hit there. Close. We didn't get hit. We're not in. Now we're in. There you go. Here's your 5 points. Done for the day. This is close, but it did not get us. Yep. So we're good. Let's do another day. One more day. All right. This looks like a nice choppy day. All right, so we come in, coming down, 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 down. Get a flip right here. So this would be our first step low. Down, 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 first flip. Once this happens, once it's the orange here, this is our low. And then going up, here's our open. We need something higher than this open. which is way up here. So when it just comes down like this, your high has to be higher than the open. And we realize that once we get this flip. So come up, get this flip, so this is our high. And so far, this is just our first step. See if we get a second step. We do, but it would be here eventually, somewhere here, you get some yellow. It'd be here, but we don't get a trade. Here's our 2 o'clock. No trade that day. Let's see if we can find a day where there's a trade. Finish this up with a trade. All right, so it comes down, get a flip. This is your low, your step 1 low. You don't know that until right here. Right when you get a flip, mark this as the low. You may not get a high. Oof, no trade. Let's see. That doesn't look like a trade either. All right, let's check this one out. So we're coming in, going up. We get some flip here, so we know this is our high, step 1 high. As we're coming in the open here, we're getting some action this day. We've come up, we flipped, so we know this is our high, our step 1 high, because we have this yellow. So as soon as you get this yellow, mark that high. Then we get a flip right here, orange, so that would make this our step 1 low. We come down, we beat that low, but it's yellow, yellow. We need it to turn to orange right there. So once that happens, this will be our step 2. This will be our entry right here. So here's our entry. Go along. Do we get the win? 86, 80, yeah, barely. Got our 5 points. Yeah, so 1 tick under, basically 25. 86.25. We're looking for 81.25. Yep. And we got wick through, so we'll be good. There's your 5 points. So there you go, guys. That's the 2-step trade. You know, it's real conservative, but it's high win rate, high probability. You may not get one every day on one particular instrument, but just mark these out on all 4 instruments. Q, the ES, the Y, the RTY. One of them's bound to hit. You know, we also have the rib trades, the burst trade, reclaim trades. A lot of ways you can trade the EdgeRunner. Besides the auto, you can manually trade it. And don't forget Apex they've extended their 80% off. So your code is PROEDGE. And we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow.